Ready to bump some brown people? Hell yeah! You gotta get your quota! If you are a Nazi and you hate brown people, come on and get the fuck out of here! Hell yeah, get them dancing! Sexy dancing across the street! Show those ICE agents how to move! Look at the shy one over there! Come on out! We're having a great time! I got anal nitrates! I got strap-ons! I can chase you around the ice station with a big 12-inch strap-on! We can have a great time, don't be shy! You can use the hose on me! You can go up to the second knuckle! Woo! This is Rod Stewart! It's called Fuck Ice. He wrote it in 1977. If you hate brown people and you are a Nazi, come on, buddy, leave Portland. Leave Portland. Hey, open the gates, Whitmer. They're embarrassed to be out here. You gotta be on the ball. Freaking needle dick. It's lonely on a Saturday night. Low cost making 15 an hour. Must in brown people, even without a warrant. Sax solo. Hell yeah, make it sexy. This is not it. It is the new Ashbury Chuck E. Cheese. And we're just trying to have some fun. I got strap-ons, pornography, Adderall chemo. Hell yeah. He sits at home, hating on brown people. He gets a job better than all security. He can go around in a black van with no warrant. Don't you just know exactly what he's thinking? If you hate brown people and you are a Nazi, come on, ICE, get out of Portland. Get out of Portland, baby. Love you guys. If you hate brown people and you are a Nazi, come on, ICE, leave Portland. Yeah. I've obviously moved a little bit back based on that. Oh, what happened here? Are you okay? Do you need pepper spray? Oh, cars are coming. Let them out. You got 20 National Guard back there. Fuck guys. Yeah, why don't you come out with your super soaker? Huh? Oh, here they come. They're not ready for primetime players. Woo! Demolition.
Hello, what are you doing? He's talking? What? He's just talking.
Boo!
See you work for God, that's so
Hey everybody, let me know if you guys can hear me. This is your friendly neighborhood professional douche here. And the video that you guys just watched was Robbie Road Steamer, sorry. And he was arrested. Check 1 2. Let me guys know if you can hear me fine. And that was Robbie Road Steamer. He was in Portland, Oregon this week. And he was just singing, as you saw. And he was arrested. And I put out a Facebook post about this, asking to raise money for Robbie Road Steamer, because that was an unjust arrest, and it was a violation of freedom of speech. And I got a number of comments saying that, oh, he was blocking traffic and, he was violating 18 USC 1752. And I know that statute very well. Um, before I get into everything that happened with Robbie Road Steamer, I just want to thank you guys all for being here today. And thank you for joining the live stream. We're here today because I'm on my way to Portland, Oregon tomorrow, and to protest ICE and what they've been doing, and also to spread a little freedom of speech there while I'm at it. I told all of you that I'm bringing my pig costume and my police stripper costume. So that should be fun. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with it because I don't want to ruin the video before it even comes out. But the reason I've decided to do this live stream tonight is because I need to raise a little bit more money in order to make this happen, and I need your guys' help. So So at the top of your screen, you'll see QR codes for PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. You'll see at the bottom of your screen a ticker of, for your donation. You guys, everyone will receive a spectacular video. I plan on doing a lot while I'm there. I'll be there I bought a one-way ticket, so I'm headed there tomorrow, and I'm planning on heading back Thursday, but I didn't want to be beholden to any schedule. So I only bought a one-way ticket for now. If something goes down there or elsewhere, I just didn't want to be obligated to go back home if something were to happen. So, there's going to be, um, I'll be out there all day, pretty much all day, every day. I have to get up at 3 a.m. So that I could get to the airport in Boston in time. Because my flight, I need to be there by 5 a.m. because my flight is at 7 a.m. And once I'm there, around noontime, West Coast time, I'm going to be um, hitting the ground running. So, I'm gonna probably have some lunch, and then I'm headed right over to the ice facility. So to have some fun with my pig costume. So you guys can, if you guys want to be a part of making this video happen, um, you could donate to PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You see the QR codes and the links at the top of your screen. At the bottom of your screen at the ticker, you'll see what you'll get for your donation. Anything above 100, you get $100 donation, you get credit in the video. Anything above 200, you get credit in the video, and you get you get to see the video early. So again, I appreciate all your guys' donations so far. Yes, you can donate on YouTube, but I don't get that immediately. So the best places to donate are PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. So I just played for you the video of Robbie Road Steamer getting arrested. That was the unclipped version. And I got quite a few comments. He was blocking traffic, and I didn't see him actually block traffic. I saw him to the side of a car, and those cars were rolling by. He wasn't obstructing them or impeding them in any way. They continued to move along. And I got a lot of comments saying that, he was guilty, or, he was violating 18 USC 1752. And I told you guys that I know that statute because I've also been threatened with arrest under that statute. And I just want to, just before we get to, I have a guest coming on. Her name is Monica, and she wants to tell you guys a little bit about what's going on in Portland from her own eyes, from her own observations, because she's actually been to the ICE facility, so she knows what is going on the grounds. But before we do that, I just wanted to go over um, 1752 really quickly. One second. Okay. So just so you guys can see, the relevant statute is 18 USC 1752 A3, which is right here. So a lot of people have been citing this, that Robbie was, guilty of that. He was doing that, and that's when you knowingly and with the intent to impede or disrupt the orderly conduct of government business or official functions, obstructs or impedes ingress or egress to or from any restricted grounds. However, this statute does not apply, because whenever you look at a statute, you have to look at the surrounding, text of it. And this statute only applies when it's to or from any restricted buildings or grounds. And if you go down to C, subsection C, you'll see right here that the term restricted buildings or grounds, restricted buildings or grounds means the White House or its grounds where the vice president's residence is, or its grounds, where a president, vice president, or protectee of the Secret Service is temporarily visiting, or buildings or grounds where they're designated a special event of national significance. And unless the White House or the vice president's residence has moved into that ICE facility, it doesn't apply here. Now, what would most likely apply is local statutes, which I grant you, I haven't looked that up yet. But I wanted to show you a video. I've been threatened with 18 USC 1752 by Secret Service themselves. So
How you doing, man?
good. How are you?
I'm Agent U with the Secret Service. Okay?
That's cool.
Good question. Are you? I heard from them that you're trying to. So you wanted to rush the stage. Is that what you said? You didn't say anything like that?
No,
What's your name?
I refuse to answer.
You have ID on you?
No,
Okay, then you gotta leave, right?
it's a public park.
This is not a public park.
Not
This
right
is a
now.
campaign.
This is under.
That's under Secret Service
Nope.
protection.
No,
This
all of
isn't.
this is under Secret Service.
What law am I breaking?
Title 18, 1752. You can look it up.
Okay, I'll look it up. 1752.
Yep.
Basically, the next 5 minutes is me looking up the statute just to waste their time, and then I'll fast forward it.
How are you?
Just make sure you stay here.
How is this restricted?
Right now,
we
this
have-
is fully
because
under
look at
Secret Service, okay?
How is this restricted?
Everything's going in circle now. Sir, you gotta keep moving, man.
This isn't restricted area right here. This isn't. Where's the?
Yep.
Good. You're nailing them. Good.
You're good, right?
Welcome. Are you all registered to vote?
You are no longer allowed to come to Trump events, to any campaign function, and every time you come to a campaign function, we will let the Secret Service know you're here. But you have effectively been banned from Trump campaign events.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Cool.
So that was me being threatened by Secret Service that of Title 18 USC 1752, and I looked into that statute in depth. I think it's very broad in what you know the Secret Service are allowed to call restricted areas, because essentially they could say anything within a mile radius is restricted, and you can't be within it. But anyhow, that's beside the point. I want to get to the reason we're here today. Again, if you're just joining us, um, I'm on. I'm doing this live stream because I am headed to Portland, Oregon tomorrow to document what is going on there and to troll, to offend, uh, to satirize, to have a good time. And um, if you want to be a part of that, if you want to help me, I still have, I think, $400 more that I need to raise. If you want to help me get there and make this video, there are QR codes at the top of your screen, as well as the links if you need those, to PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. For your donation, you'll receive a spectacular video. If you donate above 100, you'll get credit in the video. And if you donate above 200, you'll get credit in the video, as well as being able to see the video before anybody else. So as I mentioned before, I have Monica coming on. Hey, Monica,
Hello. Hi,
how are
everyone.
you?
I'm doing
This is
okay.
Monica, and you're from the Portland area.
I'm about an hour and a half away from Portland, but I do spend a lot of time there, especially in the activist circuit.
Okay. And what do you do there besides what kind of activism do you do?
I've participated in protests off and on since about 2018, beginning with my first protest at ICE in Portland was my first Portland protest. I did 221 days of Black Lives Matter, as
Hmm.
well as the intermittent ICE protest between then and now. Took about a year off, and now it's time to engage again. So I started protesting a few months ago again at the ICE facility. We have been on 135, 140 some odd days of a 24/7 protest and encampment. So that's what's been going on in Portland.
And what issues uh, are you passionate about advocating for?
Well, right now it's kind of all tied under the same. I'm a very land back kind of a person. This is stolen indigenous land. ICE is operating on stolen indigenous land and taking indigenous people and dispersing them or attempting to commit ethnic cleansing. And I think that's just gross. So I step
Hmm.
up and fight that gross.
So when did you first start protesting at a nice facility?
My first one was in 2018. I joined Indivisible, Oregon. They were doing weekly protests where they would march for about an hour, maybe two, around the facility, just to kind of let detainees and stuff know that people were out there, letting that they weren't forgotten, that they were known. And I participated in a border to border campaign with Indivisible,
Mhm.
where we had activists all up from the Canadian border all the way down to the Mexican border, where we took a
Okay.
banner and all the way down to the Mexico border to, participate in that activity as well. So there was a border with a banner at the border with my name signed on it down in Mexico while I was still operating in Oregon.
Okay. So, can you kind of give us an idea of what's going on the ground there at the ICE facility in Portland?
Okay, do you want a brief, like from morning to night synopsis?
Sure, we can start with that.
Okay, I mean, the mornings are pretty calm, except for lately there's been more frequent police sweeps of the camp. Legally, they have 72 hours to camp anywhere in Portland. If they're cited, they need to move. And so they began moving different spots. And so there's been like a specific area now kind of designated for a camp just down the block from the ICE facility. And people are waking up. I've heard of some 10 a.m. tear gassing a little bit here and there, and of a lot of intermittent violence just coming out of nowhere, as we saw on Robbie Rhodes Seamer's video earlier, that it's basically you just exist out there in the environment. And if you have anything going on that brings any bit of joy or light or anything to the table, then you're target.
Then they
So they've
squash it.
been and they squash it. It's either that, or if you're a strong woman of color, they seem to be
Mhm.
targeting that as well as disabled femme presenting human beings. They seem to be targeting that. Last night I was there, and they pepper sprayed a disabled woman that was like, I mean, I'm 5'6", she's maybe 5'4", 120 pounds. Absolutely no reason to do that. She was dressed up in a
Seems like
onesie.
a
We had a
threat.
huge, huge threat, big threat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're
No,
targeting any marginalized people, basically, and or anybody bringing any fun.
mhm. Like Robbie Rhodes Steamer.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And maybe you
Um,
next.
maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I have a lot of plans. That's why people should donate, to help make this video happen because we're gonna have a lot of fun.
And then
It'll go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I have a lot of plans while I'm down there. It's my first time going to Portland, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Portland has to offer and what uh, if ICE can do their worst.
Ooh. I mean, I wonder what their worst is. I have a gut feeling we have yet to see it. So maybe you'll be around for that action. Hopefully not, because it tastes really bad and it hurts.
I've been tear gassed before. I was at the Capitol on January 6th, so I know what that's like. I've been pepperballed before as well. So all no fun by any means. Um, Now I heard someone said on the live stream last night that they were deploying tear gas last night at the ICE facility.
Yes, they were. I tasted it myself.
Hmm.
Um, it still tastes bad no matter how much exposure and immunity I develop. Um,
You
yeah,
know what sucks?
I
You know
arrived
what's
just before. Oh, go ahead. No.
Oh, I was just gonna interject. You know what sucks is the thing about it is that like I don't know if you've been pepper sprayed either, but like,
Hmm.
it all like reactivates later once you take a shower or something
Oh
like that.
yeah.
It's horrible.
You have to
Um,
decontaminate before you take a shower and then maybe
mhm,
decontaminate again, depending on how strong it is. The stuff they are deploying last night is extremely strong. They have a new modified gases that I've experienced since 2020. So we're
mhm.
trying to take the canisters and stuff to the lab to figure out if they're really labeled what they are. So yeah, there's that going on. But yeah, they deployed that. I got there just before 8 p.m. last night after the No Kings. Like I don't know, 50 to 60,000 people in Portland. Um,
Mhm.
and I had heard from people on the ground that they had been deploying tear gas, and people had brought their kids to the ice facility. And I'm telling you, there
Yeah.
was like 30 inflatables. There were 2 DJs. It was nothing but love and light and community. And yeah, they were deploying it at us for no reason.
I watched some of the live streams that were going on there, and all I saw were people dancing and good music, and it just seems like this one lady had like asthma that I was watching her live stream,
Hmm.
and she said she was going to leave if they did that again because she just couldn't take it. And I feel for these people because like all you're essentially doing is dissenting, and dissent is patriotic. It's your right to dissent, against what you view as um abhorrent,
Yeah, I mean, it's unjust what's happening, period. And we need justice,
absolutely.
period.
Hmm. So would you say these um tear gas, people getting arrested, is that like a normal part of it, or does it happen just here and there?
It's been really kind of frighteningly low numbers comparison to 2020. I'm used to like maybe 80 to 100 comrades getting arrested a night, and it's like intermittent. I don't know. I think the highest number I can recall being said was 11 people in a night arrested, and I would
Mhm,
say 10 out of 11 of those were literally just standing on a sidewalk.
mhm,
And that was it. And there was this blue line that's been painted outside the ice facility because there was some confusion on where their property line was and where the protesters could stand legally. And so they painted this thin blue line. Mind you, they didn't even spell government correctly the first time. So there's that. Um, it was government. Was it without the N? I think it was. Government is what it was. It literally said that for like a few days till they sent somebody from the city to come out and repaint it to spell it correctly. So, I mean, the
mhm.
confusion over this property line has been all over the place. But yeah,
Um,
it's brutal out there.
mhm. So what would you say is the worst thing you've personally witnessed there?
Uh, I I witnessed somebody nearly get knocked out a few weeks ago. I would say the most heartbreaking thing was watching an Indigenous activist be taken in for speaking on what's going on with a company called Geo Group inside the facility.
Mhm,
So, I mean, the arrest I witnessed wasn't brutal, but when you're watching somebody who's indigenous to these lands fighting for this land taken in unjustly, it's heartbreaking that this is going on in our country. So,
yeah.
I would say that would be the most heartbreaking thing I've witnessed. But I've seen a lot of pepper spray. I've seen a lot of tear gas. I've seen a lot of blood and snot and people crying, and there's it's a lot out there.
hmm So I don't know if you know, but y- there's a case, Noam, as in Christy Noam. So it's Noam versus Vasquez Perdomo. It's a
Okay.
2025 case. It's a 2025 case in which the Supreme Court hasn't come to a final decision yet. They've only come to like um, you know a temporary one, but usually you can know where they're leaning when they rule in the before their final ruling.
Mhm.
It essentially allows ICE agents to be able to racially profile people. So
Mhm.
if any of a number of um, uh, how can I put it? If there's like a checklist of things that make you more likely to be an illegal immigrant, such as like
Mhm.
hanging out at Home Depot, working a landscaping job or construction job, not speaking English, stuff like that. So based on those parameters, you know, officers are essentially able, based on the fact that you're brown, officers are essentially able to um, not just detain, but arrest these people because they don't speak English, or any number of parameters that they say make it more likely that that person is illegal. And it's just like absolutely insane to me. It's just like um, how do I describe it? The fact that you're able to arrest someone based on them not speaking English, or based on them having um, a construction job, for instance, and that's the basis that people think that they're illegal, is just, in my opinion, it's un-American.
Yeah, it would it I don't understand why it's such a threat to, be different and exist in this country and have a right to due process. I don't understand why they're trying to reverse a lot of the hard work that has been done.
And, speaking of due process, I've gotten a lot of pushback. Not a ton, but a few people here and there. Have you seen my Tom Homan video?
I've seen most of it. Yes, I've shared it.
Okay. The Tom Homan video. I was actually with I met with Robbie Roadsteamer down there. He was We were both in Tampa at a Turning Point event, and originally I was going to troll um, Pete Hegseth um, at the Turning Point event, but he had too much security, and I'm all for, like, you know um, how can I put it? I guess what I would say is I'm all for trolling people, as but if it doesn't
Yes.
stand much of a chance of succeeding, then I reevaluate. So
Hmm.
wasn't going to get away with what I wanted to with Pete Hegseth, because there was just so much security when he was
Hmm.
speaking. So I decided to pivot to Tom Homan. I call him a hoe, but he was fun to troll. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you know who he is, but he is the border czar for Trump. He's in charge of the deportation policy And I trolled him in the same way that the Trump administration created a photoshopped image of Kilmar Abrego Garcia with MS-13 literally on his knuckles. So I put on Tom Homan's knuckles MS-13 and accused him of being an MS-13 member. And he wasn't happy with that. But, my whole point of doing that was, that if it was Tom Homan being accused of being an MS-13 member or being illegal, he would get due process because of who he is. But people
Hmm.
like Kilmar Abrego Garcia don't get due process because here's the thing. So originally, excuse me, originally, back in 2019, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was arrested outside of a Home Depot, and some informant um, said that he was the head of, I think, MS-13 in New York, even though he had never been to New York. He had been living in Baltimore, Maryland, and police decided not to charge him with anything. They just put him. They just handed him over to the immigration court, and the immigration court ultimately decided that he could be deported anywhere but El Salvador, where he was originally from, because of the likelihood that he would be persecuted by the gang there. And that's just humane. You don't want to. You don't. A free country shouldn't send people back to where they in all likelihood might die. And so if Kilmar Abrego Garcia had gotten due process when he was shipped to CCOT this year, back in March or whatever, whenever it was, then they would have seen the order telling the stay order saying that he couldn't be shipped back to El Salvador where CCOT is. So these, long story short, these people being accused of being an illegal immigrant aren't getting due process.
No, they're not.
Um, and it's we're going against our I mean, all throughout history, right? I don't want to say just the U.S., but we're in the U.S. We're talking about the U.S. All throughout history, we've shown that we don't honor our values as much as we think we do. For instance, the founders, for instance, they came up with a beautiful document, the Declaration of Independence, saying that all men are created equal. Well, if all men are created equal, then why did people like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, why did they have slaves if all people are created equal? You know, um, so and this is just another example, us shipping people off without due process. Even the bombing bombing the boats in South America, you know, is another example. In this country, we don't have summary. We don't do summary killings. Where just the president gets to unilaterally decide, you know, you're dead, and then that's that.
Yeah, I feel like we left a whole other country to like escape that type of persecution. Feel like that was where it all started, right?
Hmm.
Now we're here, right back at square one.
Okay. Just one more question I have for you.
Okay.
Um, so um, is there anything that you want my audience to know about, what's going on in Portland, what you've seen? Is there any message that you want to leave, with my audience?
There's a lot of fear going on out in the world right now. People a little afraid of how to take action against something like this and an entity that is very scary and growing quickly. There is one thing called the White Ally Toolkit.com. It is full of all kinds of references for anybody to get started. Maybe if you're new to activism, if you're new to taking action, because we do need all hands on deck in order to make sure that we topple this dictator. And that's a very good place to start. If you're not a white ally, it also has a few other references and guides to helping that. Don't be afraid. Like, we've got to get rid of this fear, because that's why our country's in this position, is fear from both sides. And we're here in the middle needing to navigate fixing those complex issues. So we just don't be afraid. Step up. If there's like 100 and some odd ICE facilities in the country, if we start encampments at every single one of them, we will drain them of their resources faster than not. And that's all I'm going to say. If you have the ability to start something in your city with a facility that is going unattended, go for it. Be the one person. Take a picture, do something. Just take action and don't be afraid.
I agree with you. One of the reasons government gets away with what it does is because people are too busy doing other things, living their lives, which, everyone needs to live their lives, but, that doesn't mean that we can't, you know, uh, we have to pick up, it's very easy to go to the store, get a poster board and, everyone benefits when we use our voice.
Carry a Sharpie and keep an eye out for dumpster cardboard if you need spontaneous eruption. Just saying.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in Portland and figure out
Yeah,
what kind of shenanigans we can get up to up there.
I look forward to causing good trouble with you.
You know it.
Thank you,
Thank you.
and have a good night.
You-
That was Monica, everybody. She lives outside of Portland, about, I think, like 45 minutes to an hour or so. But she goes up to Portland whenever she can. And I will be hanging out with her throughout the week. Like I said, I will be there on I will be there starting tomorrow in Portland, Oregon, and I'm planning on leaving Thursday. But again, I bought a one-way ticket so that I'm not obligated to leave if anything goes down. So again, thank you, Monica, for telling us more about what is going on there. So, in case you guys just joined, I'm here raising money to go down to Portland tomorrow, Portland, Oregon, and to cause some good trouble. And if you want to donate, then the QR codes and the links are at the top of your screen. If you donate 100 or more, then you get a credit in the video. And if you donate 200 or more, then you get credit in the video, and you get to see the video before anyone else. So now I'm just going to dedicate the rest of this time. If you guys want to come on the live stream or ask questions in the comments, feel free to do so. I just have to put the link on the screen. And I'm going to put the link to join the live stream in the comments as well. So here's the link to join the live stream. Let's see. And I am putting the link on YouTube so that you guys can join the live stream if you want, or put your comments in, or put your questions in the comment section, and I will get to it. So I've just put it on both YouTube and Facebook, and it looks like we have someone already. Hello, how are you? It looks like you have to unmute yourself.
Hey, how's it going?
Good,
Good,
you?
how you doing, man?
Good, how about you?
Sorry, hold on. Let me echo going on here 1 second. There, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Hey, so I really enjoy your content. Thanks for having me on your stream.
Of course.
Um,
Thanks for coming on.
so if you don't mind, I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
So would you say that part of your trolling is based in like the fact that a lot of these groups that kind of they pedestalize themselves as being like really moral or ethical, but they're not, and you're trying to highlight that?
Um, yeah, absolutely. That has a lot to do with it, but also, I would say if there's any sort of hypocrisy in that group, or bigotry. I started this whole thing because back in 2020, to be specific, my first huge video was back in March of 2020, when I trolled Diana Ploss, and the reason I did that was to highlight her bigotry towards, and she went on to say stuff like, um, she went on to make a video that got her fired from her radio job, where she was harassing a bunch of landscapers, asking them if they were legal, if they spoke English, stuff like that. So I really, you know, don't like that sort of behavior. So, she even went on to say, like, my, uh, uh, I hate it that you have to dial one for English, as if, and she said stuff like, in America, we speak English. And to me, what makes the U.S. and the world a beautiful place is that there's variety. Like the Italian language, for instance, is a beautiful language. Other languages too. Variety is the spice of life, and I just don't like it when people target someone because of uh, how can I put it? Um, I really don't like bigotry. Is what I'm trying to say.
So I mean, you would consider yourself an ethical person, right?
I do my best to be ethical, yes.
Okay. So,
And
I
I
mean,
do know where this is going,
do
and
you,
I do, based on your, based on your name, Vegan Equilibrium. Um, and I will say that I do eat meat, and I know that, and I'm sure you don't believe that's ethical. Um,
why do you think it's ethical?
um, I don't think that the treatment of animals to get the meat on our table is ethical. Um, I um,
Would you agree
it
that you could be vegan?
yes, I would absolutely agree with that.
So like
And
what's
I do,
stopping
and
you?
I
You already said it's unethical. Like what's stopping you from being vegan?
um I will say that I think for me, I've struggled my whole life with eating, with with weight. So it's not that I couldn't be vegan. It's more that um, I, I don't mean to make this sound like an excuse. It's old habits die hard.
Right,
It's
but
it's
and of
it's
course, but you know that that would be
to,
so like if you put it in the human context, you know that that would be like such a silly excuse that we would never accept, right?
and again, I said I acknowledge that it's an excuse. I do. Um, it's just for a lot of people, it's easier said than done. And I'm not saying that that's the best excuse. I'm just saying
Do
that's
you think that for like, I mean, so I don't know. It seems like what you're saying is that because you can get away with it, you're gonna keep doing it, and regardless of whether you think it's right or wrong.
well, I don't think that takes into account the lifetime of habits of people.
Well, you think about like a lot of these scumbags that you troll. I mean, they've probably been scumbags their whole life. It is probably habitual for them to do a lot of the shitty things that they do. Like they were
Hmm.
raised in a shitty situation where they weren't taught like good boundaries or right from wrong. And so, like, what if they were to just say, "Hey, look, this is just how I've been my whole life. I'm not going to change now. Why I shouldn't, and who are you to say I should have to change?" And you know,
Well, that's not what I'm saying.
well, you just said it's habitual, and
I
isn't that
said
what?
um, I said that it is a lot. I think it is a lot easier said than done.
Right, and I
But
mean,
that
these people, like I was saying, the scumbags that you troll could say the same thing about their actions, their habits, the shitty things they do. They could just say, "Hey, look, oh, you want me to change my mind or change what I'm doing? Easier said than done." Like, what's so different between you and those people?
um, I take your point. I wouldn't necessarily characterize it the same thing. For instance, let me give you an example, okay? And I wasn't prepared to talk about this tonight. So I'm not going to have like the absolute, best answer in the world. But it is my understanding, for instance, that a lot of things that you get from meat, like there are amino acids, for instance, that are in meat that you can't get elsewhere from
That's not true.
veget.
That's blatantly false.
Okay.
Yeah,
Again, I wasn't prepared to talk about
yeah.
this, so
No, no.
I'm
Well,
not going to give
I
you the
mean,
perfect
and
answer.
obviously, like, if you, and I know you said you're not prepared, so like, it's not like one of these kind of things where we're both gonna, like, I'm on my phone right now. If you want, like, I could definitely email you a lot of resources. I could email you there's a whole thing about how every plant has every plant has the full amino acid profile in varying degrees.
Mm.
So like I can send you all the peer reviewed literature there is on this topic if you want later on. If that
Absolutely.
would
You
change your mind.
feel free to do so, and I'll look into it.
Yeah. How would I send that to you? How would I contact you?
If you looked at, are you watching on YouTube or?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go down into the description of this live stream, you'll see my email um, at the very bottom.
Okay. I will send you some stuff, so like, let's say you knew that you had all this information. This is a hypothetical. You knew that you could be perfectly healthy, eating a plant-based diet, and that wouldn't be a struggle for you at all. Do you still feel like you would have any excuse not to do it?
No, I don't.
So if I send you that
And
literature,
and just to interrupt for just a sec, I'm very sorry. I'm looking this up, and I will correct myself because I don't mind being wrong. I guess that was just something that was told to me, and I never looked it up, but I'm
yeah, no,
looking it up right
that's
now,
what they
and
call conventional
it says
wisdom.
all the amino acids found in meat are also available in plant-based vegan sources. So
Yeah.
I'll concede that I was wrong on that, but I'm happy to look over what you have to send me.
No, I appreciate that, Mike. And like, I mean, I like I said, I love the work that you're doing.
That's and
I
just
think
to
you have a
interrupt.
really great thing going. But let me just finish my point. I think you have a really
Sure.
great thing going, but just the fact that you're not vegan is like the turd in the punch bowl. Um, and I think that like you're, I don't know, like you would have a much stronger message, I feel, if you really walked the walk, right? And showed
Mhm.
compassion to all sentient beings. Like the real question to ask yourself is, what is the morally substantial difference between humans and other animals that makes it okay to do the one but not the other? And I don't think, if you're an honest person, you probably won't be able to name a trait that doesn't create some kind of logical contradiction. So
Mhm. And I would push back on what you said earlier. What's the difference between me and the people that I troll that are bigots is the fact that I am willing to learn what I don't know. I'm willing to listen to you. They aren't. They've displayed time and time again. Whenever I've said something they don't like, they go to the police and try to get me arrested. I'm willing to listen. They aren't. That would be the only thing about what you said that I would push back on.
well, I appreciate that, Mike, and I hope that you're also willing to change. And you could be very, I think, in my opinion, you would not be a hypocrite anymore, and you would really be a lot more powerful with your message. And just my personal opinion, but I appreciate you letting me come on the stream and talk to you about that. I think that you will recognize that the only correct thing for you to do is to live a vegan lifestyle, to be in
All right.
alignment with your values.
Mhm.
Would you agree that like there's no morally substantial difference between animals and human animals?
I would agree that that they, just as we do, deserve to be treated humanely.
they deserve to have human rights extended to them.
Like free speech, for instance, is
Well, I mean, obviously, like you could say, yeah, we we want a certain level of free speech, but if like for example, a baby, like yeah, we're gonna give free speech rights to a baby, but that doesn't really mean anything for a baby as it would for an animal, right? Like we're not gonna let toddlers drive, and for a lot of animals that probably have the same mental capacity as a toddler, we're not going to let them drive. Although there is an orangutan that does drive, by the way.
that's awesome. I'm actually gonna look that up. That's really cool. I never knew that actually. Um, but yeah, I will absolutely, look over what you said, and I've been, I will say this. It's not that I don't think that animals should be treated humanely. I've been trying to lose weight all my life, and it's just like, y- you know, uh, when you, um, it's just harder for other. I hope you can at least acknowledge, it's harder
I
for
mean,
some
you
than
could
it is for
you could
others.
say you could say that maybe like you feel like you struggle with it more, but like that is no reasonable that like excuse to pay people to basically torture, rape, and murder animals for your taste pleasure. Um, all you have to do is put yourself in the victim's shoes and look at it from their perspective and think, oh, just because I feel like being a glutton, that means that they have to suffer for me or something. That's silly. Like, and if you like, look, I struggle with like I've been overweight, I've been underweight. I've had a lot of issues with stuff, but if you're someone that likes to eat and you like junk food, I'm not saying that there's nothing morally wrong with that. Eat vegan junk food. There's tons of vegan junk food out there. And a lot of them vegan mock meats now they taste just like I got a Impossible Whopper the other day and I was a little worried that like I had actually been eating a cow flesh because it tastes you couldn't tell the difference.
Hmm. Well, I will say to your point, that I had a someone that I was dating back in 2024. She was a vegan, and I had vegan with her, and it was, to my surprise, it was really good. So I know that there are options available. Good options, good vegan options, I should say, available.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, whatever you send me, I'll look over and I'll respond to you.
All right, well, yeah, I definitely will send you some stuff. And listen, I know you're in I'm pretty sure you're in the New England area because I see you coming to Boston a lot. I'm in the
I
Boston
am.
area. Yeah, I'm in the
Okay.
Boston area, and if you ever want help with any of your videos or just people to tag along with or whatever, I love the stuff you do, and I'd be happy to support you or join you in that. So
I
we'll talk.
appreciate that. Thank you. And I'll send me an email and I'll look it over.
Cool. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Thank you for joining.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Jimmy from Philly.
What's up, man? So
How
that
are
guy,
you?
all right, so that guy that was just the one, that's the quintessential liberal. He's going to tell you what's moral, what's honest, what's correct. And if you don't agree, well, you're just not being honest with yourself. He knows what's best for everybody. Everybody should be a vegan. This is what the quintessential liberal, quintessential.
I will say though, it doesn't mean he's morally wrong or anything like that.
I'm
You
not.
know, the
I'm
way
saying he's a retard. You can't
the
listen.
way
I used to do drugs. I used to do drugs, right? I don't moralize to other people not to do drugs. Do you understand? People have the freedom to do what the fuck they want as long as it's legal.
I agree. I
You know
agree
what I
with
mean?
you completely. I didn't take what he said to say that I had to do it. More that he was trying to convince me that it's morally,
Well, the turd in the
right.
punch bowl is if you're not vegan, you're not being honest with yourself. Didn't he say that? Come
I
on,
mean,
man.
to an extent, we're all hypocrites. You know, there's something in all of our lives that we're hypocritical
No, we're
about.
not. And let me tell you something. You were absolutely correct when there's enzymes and other things in meat that would be extremely difficult to get from plants, like taurine for one. So you're absolutely correct on that. You
I'm
look
gonna
like
do more.
you don't have a fast metabolism. That's probably a lot of your problem. Look at me. I'm
Yeah.
5'7", 160 pounds. I've been blessed with a fast metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
I'm jealous.
Well,
But
you probably have to not eat certain things and move your ass a little more. But
I'm going to.
I can't believe he hijacked this. This is supposed to be about you trying to get money to go to Portland, which here's another thing. I don't understand. Portland is like the epicenter for the liberal lunatic Antifa goofballs. They tried to burn down a federal courthouse. They're constantly causing problems. Do you know how many people are annoyed in that neighborhood that they've been they call it protesting for 3 or 4 months? People in that neighborhood can't go to sleep. They keep them up all night and they talk about community and it's bullshit. It's just lawlessness. And local politicians let them get away with it. It's sickening. It's just trifling.
I don't agree with all of what you said. But I'm excited to go down to Portland tomorrow and see what's going on there for myself.
Well, I already know what's going on there.
Well,
they're breaking the law.
You know what the
they're
news?
breaking the law.
Hold on a sec. You know what the news is telling you. That's what you know.
No, I don't watch corporate media. I watch on the ground YouTubers that don't have a corporate agenda. Right? That's what I watch. Like I was trolling the No Kings yesterday on my channel, right? And by the way, the people that you're basically trolling, if they go a little crazy on you, that don't make them bigots.
I'm not saying. Hold on a sec. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Okay.
What I said is people like Diana Ploss, who I've trolled in the past, in my opinion, a bigot because she's going up to people who are just doing their job landscaping and harassing them based on what language they speak, or based on the fact that they're brown, and it looks like they could
the
be
Supreme Court
immigrants.
ruled that ICE can do that, right? You know that. Right?
I talked about it on this live stream. I know that they can do that.
I mean, you may not agree with it, but it's not illegal. It's not illegal. I mean, when Biden lets in over 10 million people, that's the kind of shit that happens. I mean, we got to get rid of these people. I mean, you look at the homeless, right? We got all this homeless people all across the United States. Every city can't find nowhere to put them. Biden starts letting them in, millions of foreigners, and all of a sudden these cities can find somewhere to put them. They give them money, give them food, give them Ubers, give them medical. I mean, that's downright traitorous. I mean, don't you think we should take care of our American homeless citizens before some foreigner fuck? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's un-American. Don't you help your family before you help somebody outside the family? I mean, it's just nuts. It's insanity. They virtue signal for homeless people, but they turn around and do everything for these foreigners that they have no allegiance. We don't owe these people anything, nothing. We owe them nothing, but we do owe citizens. We do owe American citizens. Yes.
It sounds like you have more. It sounds like you have more of a problem with welfare than you do have with immigration.
No, I don't have a problem with welfare. I have a problem with just like I said. We have scores of homeless American citizens that are mostly in these democratic cities, and they could never. I mean, what's the solution to homeless? Giving them a home, right? Giving them a roof. They couldn't do that for them, but all these illegal aliens, millions pour in, and all of a sudden they're opening up luxury hotels, giving them all this shit.
All right, I'm gonna get on to the next person, but I'll come back to you.
All right.
Bradley, how are you? Hello? Okay. You're on the Professional Douche live stream.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
You label yourself as a professional douche, yet you should be a statist like me.
I should be a statist? Really?
Yeah, you should love the government like me.
I don't love the government.
You don't? Oh well. I mean, are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure that they like to shoot bullets down a firing range into children's school equipment. You're not with that?
No, I'm not with that. Why would I be with that?
Oh, I was just making sure.
Okay. Have a good night. All right. So we're on live right now in case you're just joining. And I'm here raising money to go to Portland tomorrow. My links to donate are on the top of your screen. You can see the QR codes and the links at the top of your screen. If you donate more than 100, then you will get credit in the video, and if you donate more than 200, you'll get credit in the video, and you will get early access to the video. So let's take a look at some of these comments. So the link to join is the link to join is going to be on your screen. It's also in the comments. If you want to join, let's take a look at some more comments. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them. What do you carry for defense when you do your trolling videos? I do own a firearm, but I don't carry that because that would just escalate things. I don't, usually I just go with people. who keep an eye out for me, and usually I just go with people who you know document whatever's going on, and that's what I do. You want to join the live stream? Here it is. John PDX, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, let me see if I can kill this echo. Doing well tonight.
Good to hear. Do you have any comments or questions?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to the echo. So you're coming out to Portland tomorrow, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. Bring a raincoat.
Thank you. Will do.
Yeah. And definitely be ready for those guys to be aggressive because they've been aggressive almost every night down there. So basically, it's shift change, same as everywhere else. They've got to get the cars in and out. And it's at that point that they do their show of force.
Okay. Have you been to the Portland Ice facility or no?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I live like 3 minutes from there.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh yeah, I drive through there.
So,
I park my car, walk around. I'm not going to stay down there and protest. I'm waiting for the fun stuff to happen.
okay. Will I see you there?
Well, actually, you know what? If you're going to be down there, I will come down and say hello.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Portland. I've never been there before, so.
Oh, dude, it's great. Like the prices in the airport at the restaurants are exactly the same as they are out in like the community, so they don't rape you in the airport on pricing. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Not in the sexual way. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, it's a cool place. And you can actually just catch the train from the airport all the way into downtown. And then you could take the trolley actually from downtown down to the ice building.
Okay.
Maybe they've canceled the trolley service since COVID. But yeah, public transportation is great. You should have a good time.
Mm. And now let me ask you, since you've been to the Portland Ice facility, what's the craziest thing you've seen happen there?
Oh, I haven't actually seen anything crazy happen in person. Like I said, I'm not trying to be down there when they're being violent. I drive through there, flip them off, stand out in front of there and say a couple of things to make sure the camera sees that it's me saying it, so that if they've ever got a problem, they can come find me. It's the same stuff you see on YouTube. They're literally just shooting pepper balls indiscriminately. Like these people are the most undisciplined, untrained. I would love to see what kind of qualifications they had before they just handed these dudes their Call of Duty fucking costume.
Right. Yeah, it seems very they seem very unprofessional.
Which makes them extremely dangerous because they do not have the same level of training and they do not have the same level of discipline or accountability that real law enforcement has. And that's when the problem's going to happen, is when real law enforcement sees these guys engage in serious crimes, they're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah. Do you trying to think of yeah, I don't know if you were there last night. I was watching, live stream, and all people really seemed to have been doing was dancing to music.
Let me tell you how I'll tell you how serious people down there think this blue line is on the ground, right? So I went down this morning about 4:30. I went down to take some photographs of the area around the ice facility. Just, I've been around this area for 50 years, right? This is my home. I don't know what the fuck these guys think they're doing here. Anyway, so I'm standing in front of the building, basically giving them two middle fingers, letting them know what I think about them. And this girl's just pacing back and forth in front of the driveway, right? It's the only place you can fuck with them is in front of the driveway. And that's where they put that stupid blue line. And So she like walks right at me, and I'm like, "Are you trying to walk between me and the building or what?" And she looks down, and I look down. She's like, "Well, be careful." And my heel's on the blue line. And they're like, and she's thinking like I'm going to get in trouble for that. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Tell them to come out here. I'm a U.S. citizen. Those motherfuckers can't legally touch me. ICE cannot legally touch a U.S. citizen. Those bitches put their hands on me. They will go into custody under a citizen's arrest. And then we're going to have to fight that out. Right. And then they're going to say I was resisting arrest. And then it'll have to go through the whole process. And these pieces of shit are going to lose this. They are Nazis. They are. They're Nazis. And the citizens of this country are going to start treating them like Nazis. And you all remember what we did to Nazis, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the only one saying it. Everybody better pull their big boy fucking pants on because this shit's about to get real. Because if we don't, they're going to start killing us in the streets. That is not a lie. They're already shooting people, unarmed people. These assholes do not have the training. Most of them probably aren't even qualified to hold a firearm.
Yeah, I don't know if you know who Robbie Roadsteamer is. He was the one who was arrested by ICE the other day, in front of the Portland ICE facility. But he was getting shot, like, it seemed left and right with pepper balls and stuff like that. They stand on the roof of the building and just shoot off pepper balls at people.
Yeah, which is funny because they're shooting onto local and state property. That's not federal property, so they're committing crimes in the state of Oregon. They can do whatever they want on federal property because they can ignore the laws, but they're not going to be able to do that in the state of Oregon. So Robbie's got her lawsuit coming. Like Robbie hopefully won't have to ever work again. And those little shitheads that are doing this, it's not like they're not going to go unpunished. They will know who each one of them is. They're going to know who each one of those guys is. If you're firing off pepper balls indiscriminately, you think you're not going to get in trouble for that shit? It's all going to come back on them. We will know their names. We will know who they are, and they will do time in jail, if not prison.
It's kind
What
of
they're
like,
doing. What they're doing is illegal.
It's kind of like the Streisand effect. The more they try to hide, who they are and their identities and stuff, the more public and the whole thing will become.
Absolutely.
But
Everybody just needs to stay peaceful. We have to stay peaceful. We have to let them inflict all of the vileness onto us and just document it like you're doing. And everybody has to stay calm. The time for violence will be when our elected officials call on us to do it, because that's probably coming. But until then, we have to stay very, very, very peaceful.
I don't think our elected officials are going to call for violence because they're just a part of the same system. They're a
Well, we
part
will
of,
see.
they're all they're all the government is what I'm saying. But yeah, that's what I was going to say as well, is that I agree with what you just said about that we need to stay peaceful. In fact, that's how that's how I do things. I let everybody else act like a fool and be violent to show that that, but I'm peaceful and they're violent towards me.
And yep, just document it and make sure you keep doing that, because every time that they are violent and people just dance in their inflatable costumes in the face of it, it makes them look more ridiculous. And what they're doing is just that much more of an abuse against people who clearly didn't deserve it. We have use of force laws for every single law enforcement agency in this country, and they're just not paying attention to any of them. These motherfuckers are going to pay for this shit at some point, and it will be through the legal system. I guarantee you that the people who signed up for ICE wanted desperately to be a cop. I couldn't do it because it's really hard to be a cop, because it's a lot of testing. It's a lot of background checks. And it's a lot of physical fitness. You see these fat motherfuckers? Seriously, they are not physically fit enough to be in the position that they're in. None of those dudes
and now
could
they're
pass
offering
the test.
And now they're offering $50,000 signing bonuses for anyone who will join ICE.
Yeah. And so that's going to backfire on them too, because you know what? They're not offering the people that show up to protest against these assholes money. You've got people who are showing up, taking time out of their own lives for free to say you suck to people that are getting paid to show up to suck. They're not going to do that for very much longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who wants to be the most hated person in the country, man? I'm going to hang up so you can get somebody else in here. But seriously, dude, these guys don't want to be the most hated people in the country. We just have to make sure that they understand that they are. And that's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Be careful. I'll actually come find you when you're down there, dude.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, just to give you an update. I just need $100 more. So I'm gonna get wrapped up within the next 30 minutes. If you're just joining the live stream, I'm live streaming because I'm going to Portland, Oregon tomorrow. And if you want to help be a part of the if you want to help be a part of it, a part of this video, please find the donation QR codes and links at the top of your screen. At the bottom of your screen, you'll find a ticker that will tell you what you get for your donations. If you donate more than $100, you get credit in the video from Portland. And if you donate more than $200, you get credit in the video and early release of the video. So you'll get to see the video before anyone else does. We currently have JT Colfax. How are you?
Hello. It's very nice to talk to you. I occasionally put in a comment here and there on your stuff over the years. And
thank you for the support.
It's nice to actually see a thing. I put in a comment the other day that somebody kind of hacked on, and then I think you answered too. But it's kind of a joke, as in how do you like the fact that you're going to buy a ticket or have bought a ticket that's going to say Portland on it? You're going to land at an airport that says Portland on it, and you're going to go into Portland when we have a president that says Portland has burned to the ground.
Well, I don't think you can fly into a city that's been burned to the ground.
But
so
that would give you another internet first if you do.
Oh yeah. Because I think if Portland was burned to the ground, then that would necessarily include the airport too, right?
Yeah. It's just I don't know. You know, that one sounds like a small joke thing and all that. But it's the president saying these things, and it's like, where is Portland burned to the ground? You know, there would be media everywhere, even if it was one block. But nothing. I get so well. I'm preaching to the choir by saying I just get so frustrated with these lies, like nonstop on big and little things. I hope he gets creamed on Tuesday when that Virginia Giuffre book comes out, because he's in it, I think.
Oh yeah. So I'm looking forward to coming to Portland. It's my first time. So I'm expecting great things, and to your point about Portland being burned to the ground and it's a war zone and all of this. I mentioned previously that I saw a live stream last night of supposedly the burn to the ground Portland. And people are all dancing and happy and playing music and stuff like that. It's doesn't look like a war zone to me.
Yeah, and we all know people that take that side that of Trump said this, Trump said that, and it's like, how is it possible that this city would even have a few blocks burned down and we don't see any news about it? Nothing. And yet people suck it all in. And then lastly, I'd love to ask you, like when I first found you, I assume assume it was on Facebook. You used to have your little friend, and I can't remember her name, Donna, or the woman that I think she ran for the state house in Massachusetts.
Oh, Diana.
Di-
Diana Ploss.
yes, that.
Yeah, she ran for governor, by the way.
Oh God, did she get 8
Yeah.
votes?
I think it was a fake campaign just meant to be for publicity. She didn't really do anything with it. You know, she just said she was running for governor.
Yeah, I assume she got nothing. But it was fun. Didn't she sue you or you sued her?
No, I didn't. She tried to get harassment orders against me, but the judge never granted them because the judge realized that you know all of her standouts that she did was on public property, and I had just as much a right to be there and counter protest her as she had a right to be there and protest too.
Yeah, I just saw.
But no one, neither I nor her sued each other. So
I just saw you play that piece. I assume it was in front of the Capitol. It was kind of on my TV and I wasn't paying that much attention. But the Secret Service was kicking you out. And
oh, that was at the Bronx rally. Trump had a rally in the Bronx back in, I think it was April or May of 2024.
and they just decided right then on the where you are legally on the other side of the barricade that there's no free speech for you.
Well, yeah, that's exactly my point. You know, I think the statute, you know, again, it's if you recall at the beginning, it's 18 USC. USC stands for United States Code. 18 USC 1752, which gives the Secret Service broad discretion to declare what's a restricted ground or building. You know.
Well, have fun in Portland. I know you're going to bring the police stripper thing. It's too bad you don't have a fireman one, so you could put out Portland and stop it from burning down the ground.
That's not a bad idea. I
Well,
also have my.
keep
I
those
also have my.
keep those donos coming in so he can get one.
I also have my pig costume too. The one that you know was probably my most viral video ever.
Yeah, you're the first I ever saw doing that, and now it's the thing. You started a rage. By the way, one last thing, and this is a
Sure.
terribly, terribly serious thing, and you may not be able to answer. It's probably stupid of me to ask, but how much?
No question. Stupid.
How much do you think you are on the list? All kinds of lists, just for showing up. You've never been in any way violent or churning up violence in anything I've ever seen, and yet I just know that you are on all kinds of lists.
I like to keep it that way. I like to be as different from the other side as possible. So, you know, it's kind of like a contrast thing. If you see me being completely peaceful and them screaming in my face or calling me names or you know, even being physical with me, then you know, that speaks volumes, I think. As far as what lists I'm on, I'm definitely on Trump's ban list for any of his campaign events. I've been banned from Trump rallies 2 different times. Um, as far as government lists, I don't know. You know, I've always wondered. I've always wanted to file a Freedom of Information request with the FBI to see what they have on me, but I've never done it, and you know, perhaps I will. But I don't know that they would disclose if I'm on any lists, you know.
No, not during this period.
But I'm still able to fly, so that's good. That's a good sign.
So, literally, like we don't want to monopolize or anything. But now back to a crazy question because you were a person
Sure.
does antics. Do you roll up a bunch of blankets at night and hug them thinking it's Matt Gates?
I can neither disclose that nor can I disclose it.
Aha!
Hmm.
I loved you giving him that award.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites as well. I'm happy he took it, and as stay tuned because I also have another video coming out soon. I'm just waiting for an event to happen next week before I release it. Where I met up with Ted Cruz a week or two ago.
I can't believe you've had these people. You just mentioned a name, and I just viscerally, met them all. Just like,
Hmm.
if you call it meeting, more like you're being tossed out on your ass, but whatever.
Basically.
All right, I'm JT Colfax from Denver. I have a real chat that I try and do, if I can say. It's called Morgue Logs, like true crime and stuff like that. The Morgue Logs. And very nice talking to you. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. So, just to give you guys an update, give me a sec. I need about $70 more right now, and then I will have reached my goal. This live stream is, we're on this live stream tonight because I'm headed to Portland, Oregon early in the morning. Right as soon as I get off this live stream, I'm going to bed because I have to wake up by 2 a.m., be out by 3 a.m., drive to Boston to be there for 5 a.m., and then my flight is at 7 a.m. And then I get to Portland at noon local time. And from there, I hit the ground running. Probably, get to lunch first and then straight to um, the ice facility in Portland. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, if you want to be a part of this, please look at the, scan the QR codes or copy and paste the links at the top to donate to PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Again, you can donate on YouTube, but I don't get that immediately. So, the best places to donate are PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. For your donations, you'll see at the bottom of the ticker, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a ticker where you'll see what you'll get for your donations. If you donate 100 or more, then you will receive credit in the video. If you donate 200 or more, then you'll get credit in the video and you'll get to see the video before anybody else. And I'm really looking forward to going to Portland. I've watched a lot of live streams from what's been going on there, and really looking forward to it. Like I said, I've got my pig costume and I've got my police stripper costume, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with it because I feel like that would just ruin the video. But suffice it to say, I'm going to cause a lot of good trouble. So we have got welcome Rod Weber.
Who's that? Hi. Hello.
Nice background.
That's just everywhere,
I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone should have your background.
Well, I mean, it was either that or the giant boot.
The boot is pretty good too. Not gonna lie, I like the lights around it.
Thank you. It makes me feel like at the Pig Disco in Las Vegas.
For those of you who don't know, Rod Weber is a documentarian. We do a lot of work together, like we've messed with the Dersh together. For those of you who don't know, that's Alan Dershowitz. He
Okay.
actually he was actually nice enough to bring me with him to meet Dersh, and we've also done the Republican National Convention. We've done a bunch of Super Happy Fun America events together. Those are always fun.
Mm.
So, how are you?
Delightful. I've been enjoying your live stream. There's been quite a variety of miscreants, some truth tellers, some wackadoodles, but all entertaining. I didn't think this would become a vegan versus MAGA fest, but here we are. You have a wide swath of fans out there, it seems.
I do, and that just goes to show you'll tune into the live stream, tune into my live streams because you'll never know what you're gonna get.
Yes. I would push back on that the Trumper that was pushing back on the vegan, and I could have some things to say about the veganism too. For many years, I did the vegan lifestyle, vegetarian, this and that, pick and choose, depending on the time of life. To rebut him first, because I think it's a minor rebuttal. In these complicated times, I think we have to admit that we are going to have some hypocrisies and try to develop a hierarchy of what things that we want to fight for. And while I agree with his point that animals should be treated ethically, they should be animal rights. To his point about intelligence, they're not humans, so human rights seems like a little bit much. We speak to the intelligence, a pig, like an actual pig, not the police. Do you have the intelligence of a toddler, whatever that's worth. As to the MAGA guy, that was saying, oh, I don't watch the mainstream news. I only get my information from YouTubers who are on the ground. My guess would be that he's pretty much getting his news from people like Joey Gibson from Patriot Prayer, as well as his girlfriend and Andy who are notorious rage baiters, disinformation agents who clip their videos in such a way that it makes people like Donald Trump, our president, who was just posting videos of planes shooting poop onto protesters. It makes people who see that stuff believe a fantasy which doesn't exist. And I will say that as someone who spent a good amount of time in Portland during the protest during 2020, most of them that primarily took place at the Mark O. Hatfield courthouse. What many of us live streamers would do is do a walkthrough in the day, to show that Portland was entirely peaceful. You'd see nice young people holding hands, or people with their families. Sometimes children, toddlers walking through. But by and large, what happened as darks began to fall, the federal agents who were quote unquote guarding the courthouse would start to instigate. And we're not talking just agent provocateurs. There were certainly agents.
That never happens. The government's always good.
Right. But yeah, they just start fucking with people. And not only that, they'd kind of announce their fascist authoritarian state by getting on the bullhorn and giving a dispersal order, which right there makes people want to protest, and so they stay and they chant, and they shake the fence, and then the riot cops start coming around in their trucks, and they start shooting people with the pepper balls and the rubber bullets, and this is what leads to escalation. Frankly, the presence of these kind of people, which I don't need to tell you, I know this stuff, but I'm saying this for the benefit of the MAGA fans that you have on these live streams, who are apparently getting their information from Andy No, who is, as I said, a known disinformation artist. I just have to strongly push back.
I will agree with you there, because Andy No said, when I came out in my schoolgirl costume to surprise Matt Gaetz in Houston, he said that he said that I was transgender, and I'm not. So he is a disinformation artist.
Okay, I vaguely remember that, but yeah, I mean, I'd say that's the least of Andy No's issues. If we're gonna go personal, Andy No during 2020 took one of my clips of it was one of the walkthrough videos where toddlers were walking through the park in front of the Hatfield Court Center, holding Black Lives Matter signs, and Andy No, clipped it and sent it to Fox News, which would have been fair use, but then they apparently took efforts to scrub my name from it, which then became fraud. And so I basically sent Fox News a reading of the Riot Act, and let them know I'd take them to court, and so they just signed me a big check, which, hey, might be perceived as taking blood money, but I would push back on that and say I was in the middle of a big lawsuit with Donald Trump, and I did not have the wherewithal to litigate a case against a sitting president of the United States, as well as Fox News. So it made sense to take the $5,000 from Fox and use that to continue to litigate the case against Trump. But
I have to interject here for a second and just brag that this guy, Rod Weber, has successfully sued President Trump, pro se, self-represented, and got them to settle.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, is that I basically sent a legal brief to Fox News, and in a sense got them to settle. I mean, it was for a very small amount, but got them to settle just that day. So which kind of shows what kind of chicken shits they are. And if you write the correct kind of strongly worded letter, as you can even influence the police and the day-to-day activities. The Portland guy that came on earlier, who was pointing out that the actions of these federal officers are, they're untrained, and a lot of what they're doing is illegal. If you've seen it done, I believe you've done it yourself. I know I've done it. Where for instance, in what's the name? What was the town with the gazebo where you were wiping you were
Wilmington.
Yeah, when we were at Wilmington, that cop was definitely getting in my face. And I basically just let him know that it was not a permanent event for the Blue Lives Matter people, and if he prevented mine and your free speech, that's certainly I could put a case forward towards him. And I cited the statutes and said that I'd make sure to assume in his professional and personal capacity, make sure that Timmy and Bobby and whatever his children and wife are, didn't get their Christmas presents that year. And to that he then allowed me to continue my activity with the big Trump dick, and basically change the course of their policing. There is a benefit to knowing the law and and basically being able to articulate it to the police in a coherent way.
I wouldn't say, based on my experience, that it's often successful to tell the police the law, because they're going, in my experience
Sure,
anyways,
there are
there is what?
there are a lot of knuckleheads on the police force who just wouldn't
Mm.
know or care.
I told I told the Stanford police chief, and I'm not really supposed to be talking about this, but I'll just say this, that there was a case, Cohen versus California. It was a Supreme Court case that said you can't arrest someone for breach of peace for simply saying for simply saying fuck, you know. And he didn't care at the moment, he just said, either put the sign down or I'm going to have you arrested.
Sure. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, and quite often that's the case. I mean, that's really what people quite frequently don't know is that the words that are written in the law are not really the law. The law is how a judge, jury, or a fact finder interprets the law.
mhm.
I mean, which obviously but so many folks out there don't seem to get it. And again, like that MAGA guy, who was on about Joe Biden's open borders, et cetera, et cetera. People like him are, quite frankly, they seem to be in total support with all of Trump's criminal activity. He's basically unleashing a potential landslide of cases against him. If he ever steps down from the presidency. Now, as to whether that'll happen, that's a totally different discussion. But if he does, we should go to actually there was an interview about a week or two ago where a journalist was bringing this up to him, and Trump very quickly acknowledged that, oh well, I have presidential immunity. I'm not the one who has to worry about. Actually, excuse me. It was in regard in regard to Biden, because he was going after Comey and Letitia James and all that stuff. And he pointed out that it's Biden might have presidential immunity, but not the people around him. So it's the people on the MAGA side who should be listening to Trump's actual words. He's acknowledging that him, Biden, Obama are essentially above the law. Which I know all too well. Putting forward a case against him. My win. I mean, basically because of the Fitzgerald standard. I wasn't able to get a win against Trump the man. My win was actually against the Trump campaign, which it's my way of thinking. Since I argued alter ego doctrine, saying they're all the same thing. It's a win against Trump regardless. But the point being is that I can't believe that Kristi Noem is going out there and overseeing all these crimes and not listening to Trump's own words, saying that it's the people around the president committing the crimes, who really need to look out for themselves.
Yeah. And I will say that, by the way, for those in the comments, they're calling you like a Democrat and stuff like that.
Fuck the Democrats. I've trolled Joe Biden to his face more times than I've trolled Trump. So tell
exactly.
me more.
And I was about to bring up the point that you serenaded Joe Biden about the Patriot Act. That was one of my absolute favorite videos I've ever seen of you.
Thank you very much. And I should say, serenaded in a trolling way. I was pointing out his hypocrisies. It wasn't precisely a love song. But
yeah,
I in the version of the screen view I have here, I can't see the comments, but if for any of you out there, who think that I am, bringing it on, I'd be happy to address any of that nonsense.
So yeah, like I said, that was one of my favorite videos of you. Also, you've run into him multiple times, and he's even pretended, Biden, that is, and he's
Yeah.
even pretended that he was on the phone
Yeah.
just to get away from you or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's pretended to be on the phone at least twice. Once in Virginia, and I believe once in North Carolina. There was another event, a second event in North Carolina. So the thing where I sang to him, that was in New Hampshire. I had another encounter with him in New Hampshire, where actually I was following the rule, which if anyone has followed me at all, will know that anytime I encounter a politician, my first question for them will not be trolling. I will actually try to speak to them in an earnest, and I'll only troll a politician when they haven't given me a respect. But my first encounter with him was, basically, if there's anything that you could change, go back in time, with a time machine or whatever it may be, what would you do? I was hoping that he was going to get on a Back to the Future tangent. We could talk about space aliens or something. That was my framing for it. It was as serious as I'm going to get, I suppose. And he kind of launched into this thing about his dead son, Bo. Then on subsequent events, that's when he started doing the phone, and then I figured, okay, well, that opens me up into full-on trolling. The singing thing was in New Hampshire, and then later the various phone things were down south. And one of the better ones that I got down south in North Carolina, I not only did I further confront him about the Patriot Act, I asked him, about 9/11 and, whether he would open an investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. These were things, not being asked to mainstream politicians at that time. Obviously, it's all over the place now. These guys are basically in business for their corporate donors. Whether it's Trump or Biden, it seems to be that the master plan, at least for the past several years, has basically just to destroy Gaza to put up beachfront property there, which Jared Kushner has basically confirmed by his various speeches at Harvard and elsewhere. So anyhow, fuck them all.
Fuck them all.
Yeah, tell me more about the Democrat.
Yeah, would a Democrat say that?
Yeah, suckers. Oh, and also to that MAGA guy calling the vegan a typical liberal. That is not at all a typical liberal. That's I would, if you had to say he was typical anything, I mean that's more that's a progressive mindset. Liberals don't give a fuck about veganism. But anyhow, I digress.
Everybody likes to put each other in these like neat boxes and labels and stuff like that.
For sure.
It's part of it's, to be honest, it's part of like, what keeps us distracted from what's more important, that we're all fighting amongst each other, about, oh, you're right leaning, you're left leaning,
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly programmed that into the algorithms and the bots, and Peter Thiel's recent speeches on the Antichrist were basically recorded and leaked. Obviously, they're trying to take control of the algorithm with that, spy on everyone, from America to across the globe. But Thiel in those speeches basically said, "Hey, shh, don't tell anyone." But if we want to create discord and if we want to create fear, we have to do it with the framing of religion, which is why I'm doing these speeches about the Antichrist. And that really, points to, much of the framing that the GOP has been doing for decades now. And I mean, honestly, who are we kidding? For millennia, religion has been used to control the masses. So,
do you want to give your socials? I'm about to head out
my
now
social
because
security number is 543-821-6644. Please report me to the IRS and any other 3-letter agency. I'm already on all their lists. And
I told you not to give Diana's phone number.
Right. Yeah, it's just it's at Rod Weber on most of them. They keep taking down my TikToks, so I think currently I'm at Rod Weber Film or Films, but something like that on most of them. Are you? Did you raise more money? Did it work?
It worked. Yep.
Are you? Yeah. Did you get it all?
I did. Yes.
You did? Oh, there we go.
I did.
Well,
Yep.
then I can
Thank
go.
you guys.
I don't need to
Thank
be here
you.
anymore.
No, you don't. You've
I
fulfilled your purpose.
I can cuddle with my pig now.
I'm gonna go to sleep in my pig costume.
Oh, I would like to see security camera footage of that.
No security camera footage in my room.
Oh, damn it. You're
But
really...
I'm gonna let you go now. I'm gonna let everyone go really because I have to be up by 2 a.m.
All right, toodaloo. Good luck out there. Free Robbie Road Steamer. Hail Satan. Wait. What was that last part? I mean, praise Peter Thiel and the Antichrist. All right, turn me off because I don't know how to get out of here.
All right. Thank you, Rod, for coming on and entertaining us. Thank you, everybody, for your donations, for your help. I'm really looking forward to going to Portland tomorrow. Like I said, it's been it'll be my first time going there. I have a whole bunch of people, that I'll be meeting up with. I'll be at, the ice facility in Portland. So if anybody wants to come down and hang, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, so essentially my schedule is that I have to get up at 2 a.m. to get ready and leave by 3 a.m. and then drive to Boston to the airport. And then my flight is at 7 a.m. and I get to Portland at around 12:50 in the afternoon local time. And I'm planning on going home on Thursday, but if anything pops up, I have a one-way ticket, so I am not obligated to go home on Thursday if need be. So if you guys still want to continue to donate, my links are on the screen. You could see the QR codes and the links at the top of the screen, and the ticker at the bottom indicates what you'll get for your donations. Anything in excess will go towards trolling as usual. I know I have an event coming up next weekends, actually later during the week and next weekend as well. So I do expect to be going to releasing quite a few videos in the very near future. So as always, it takes money to to fuel my car to drive, wherever it is I'm going, or to buy a plane ticket, or to, rent an Airbnb, or signs and stuff like that. The placards that I use themselves cost like $10 a pop. So, and I have like a stack of like these many signs. I don't know how many, but probably quite a few dozen. And so, all this costs money. And if you want to support me, I am grateful. Thank you guys for your time and your support, and I love you. And I will be updating you from Portland tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Love you guys. And as always, thank you for everything.